Hi everyone, I'm Candy from Susan's family. Today I'm going to show you the Puyin tote bag. The bag is divided into a main piece and side pieces. First, we'll make the main piece and assemble it with the accessories. Finally, we'll create and attach the side pieces. Now let's take a look at the main piece. The main piece consists of the first motif, the remaining motifs, and the edging. Start by making the first complete motif. All subsequent motifs will be made in sequence, crocheting and joining them as you go. Once completed, add the edging and assemble it with the grid panel. The motifs are started using the chain ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The stitch techniques used include double crochet, chain, slip stitch, DC3 bobble, half double crochet, HDC for short, and single crochet, SC for short. Now, let's show. Start by crocheting the first complete motif. Take the corresponding yarn. For specific yarn, for the color schemes and crochet hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with a foundation chain of 3. Then join with a slip stitch to the first chain. Pick up one loop from the chain and make one slip stitch. That completes the starting chain. Now let's move on to the first round. Chain 3 to start. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. Then chain 1 for connection. Next, work 1 double crochet into the large chain space where you started. Crochet 1 double crochet. Be mindful not to go through the wrong loop. Weave in the starting tail as you go. Then chain 1 for connection. This round is just repeating 1 double crochet. One chain. Follow the chart instructions for your crocheting. Once done, pick up the first chain space on the left side and join with a slip stitch. Don't pull too tight. That's how you finish the first round. The side with clearer texture is the right side, and the other side is the wrong side. Now let's move on to the second round. Start with a special DC3 bobble stitch. Chain 2 as the beginning chain, which counts as an incomplete double crochet. Work 2 incomplete double crochets next. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the same space below. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops on the hook. After completing that, you've finished 1 incomplete double crochet. Work another incomplete double crochet. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all loops at once. This completes 1 special DC3 bobble stitch. Now chain 3 for transition. In the next space, work a DC3 bobble stitch. Start with 3 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over, pull through all loops at once. This completes the bobble stitch with 3 double crochets. From now on, we'll simply call it a bobble stitch. Chain 3 again for transition. We'll repeat the pattern of bobble in chain space followed by 3 chains for the transition. Continue until the last bobble stitch. After completing it, start with 1 chain stitch. Then work 1 half double crochet. Insert the hook into the stitch of the bobble stitch next to the standing stitch. This completes the second round. Now move on to the third round. Start with 1 chain stitch. Then wrap around the half double crochet below. Crochet 1 single crochet. After completing it, work 5 double crochets in the left chain space. Chain 3. Work 5 double crochets. This completes 1 corner position. Crochet 1 single crochet in the left hole. Chain 3. Work 1 single crochet in the next space. This completes 1 edge. Then follow the chart to crochet the entire round. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. This completes the third round. After completing it, measure the dimensions. if the size differs significantly from what's marked on the chart. You need to adjust your tension or switch to a different hook size and recrochet. This ensures the grid doesn't affect the finished product's effect. Lastly, crochet one chain to secure. Leave a tail of 5-10 centimeters and break the yarn. Weave in the ends. Next, continue crocheting the second motif. Start by following the pattern chart to crochet. Work all the way down until you complete the first 2 rounds. Here, I've already prepared it in advance. Now let's move on to the last round. You need to join it with the first motif. Connect corner to corner. Join side to side. Below, I will demonstrate the joining method. The position for connecting can be random. You can refer to the chart for specific joining positions, or you can adjust according to your preference. Start by crocheting according to the diagram until just before the joining point. After completing that, take out the first completed motif. Place it with the wrong sides facing each other. Ensure the right side faces out. Find any one corner. Pick up the entire chain and make one slip stitch. You can also pick up the 2 strands of the middle chain to crochet. It depends on personal preference. After completing, don't pull too tight. Move on to chain 1. Then do 5 double crochets. This way, the corner position is connected. Next, connect the edge. Start by crocheting 1 single crochet in the hole on the left side. Then chain 1. Then connect the edge of the back fabric piece. Use a slip stitch to join into the chain space for picking up edges. After completing, chain 1. Crochet 1 single crochet in the hole on the left side. This way, the edge is connected. Continue crocheting and connecting the corner on the left side. This completes the connection of the corresponding edge and both corner positions. The rest of the connections can all be done using this method. After finishing, then continue with regular crocheting, no connecting. Everyone follow the chart to complete this round. Break the yarn and weave in the ends. This way, the second motif is completed. And it's connected to the first motif. Next, everyone follow the method for crocheting and connecting the second motif. Connect the third and fourth motifs. Now let's crochet the fifth motif. Start by connecting the first corner position. The connecting position here is the same as the corner connection for the fourth motif. It needs to be connected to the corner of the third motif. Then continue with regular connections for the sides and another corner. After that, finish crocheting the fifth motif. This way, the fifth motif is completed. And it's fully connected. The sixth motif requires connecting two sides. The top right corner connects to the corner of the third motif. The bottom right corner connects to the corner of the second motif. Complete the remaining motifs in the order indicated on the chart. And ensure all connections are done properly. Pay attention while crocheting. And make sure not to connect the wrong parts. That's all for connecting the motifs. After all the motifs are connected, place the right side of the fabric facing up. Find the longest side on either end. Locate the middle. In the gap between these two motifs, join the yarn here. Once done, then start the first round of edging. Make one beginning chain. Crochet one single crochet in the same stitch. Crochet one single crochet in the left chain space. Chain 5 as a transition. Continue and crochet 3 single crochets in the chain spaces along the edge. Chain 5 as a transition again. Crochet 1 single crochet in the corner chain space. For the parts where you crochet on the motifs, you can follow this method. Then crochet 1 single crochet in the gap between the motifs. Crochet 1 single crochet in the left chain space. Follow the chart and keep crocheting until you reach just before the corner of this large fabric piece. After completing that section, crochet 1 single crochet in the corner position, chain 3, crochet 1 single crochet, then follow the chart and the previous demonstration to finish this round. Once it's done, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. That concludes the first round of crocheting the border. For the following rounds, follow the chart. Keep crocheting all the way to the second to last round. The number of rounds here is not for reference. Then, according to the chart's instructions, mark the grid count on the mesh board first. Next, fit the fabric piece well. The fabric piece here is not for reference, it only demonstrates the method. Ensure the workpiece lays flat and stretched. Make sure it doesn't shrink. If after stretching the fabric piece, the bottom of the final round still doesn't reach the size of the grid board, you'll need to trim a little bit off based on the actual situation. The fabric should lay flat and taut but not too tight. The number of grids on both sides should be identical. After cutting all the grid boards, sew them together. Cut a 60 cm thread. Take the grid board. Sew a few stitches to secure it in place. There's no specific requirement for the sewing gap. As long as it's sewn securely, that's fine. Everyone sews the other side as well. Next, let's crochet the last round. This round needs to be crocheted together with the grid board. Take out the grid board you just sewed. Place the connected fabric piece on top. With the right side of the piece facing up. First, take a separate thread to secure the four corners. Then also fix a few points in the middle of each side. After completing this, we'll start crocheting the final round below. Begin with one chain as the starting chain, then start crocheting single crochets. Pay attention, here you need to wrap the edge of the grid board while crocheting. The entry position for the hooks on the back grid board can be adjusted according to the actual situation. Just make sure the fabric piece stays flat. Everyone follows this method and crochets the entire round. Remember that in the corner chain spaces, you work single crochets and chains. As you crochet, remove the securing thread. Follow the chart for crocheting. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. This concludes the main piece. Next, we'll attach the accessories. Start by attaching the handles. Then sew on the lining. Finally, install the magnetic clasps. Please watch the demonstration. Now let's install the handle. First, cut a 60 cm piece of thread. Thread it into a sewing needle. Next, take out the handle. Place it in the centered position on the shorter side. Make sure the smooth, rounded side of the handle is facing up. Position the chain space on the edge of the crocheted border. The bottom of the handle should be close to the first round of the crocheted edge. Pay attention to maintaining a centered and symmetrical position to prevent the handle from moving around. We'll secure it with thread in advance. I've already secured it here. Now let's start sewing. First, fix the end of the thread on the grid board. Then pass the needle through the hole in the handle. Sew each stitch flat for a clean finish. This will make the loops look neat and beautiful. Make sure to sew a few extra stitches. Sew tightly for better results. Finally, tie a knot to secure it in place. That's how you finish sewing one end of the handle. Now sew the other end as well. That concludes how to sew one side of the handle. Follow this method. And sew the other side too. Be mindful to keep the positions of both handles consistent. Don't let it shift out of place. Everyone, go ahead and complete it. Next, we'll sew the lining. First, follow the dimensions provided in the pattern chart. Cut the lining fabric accordingly. Alternatively, you can place the fabric on the cloth. Trace a line that is 1 centimeter larger than the outline. Then cut it. I've already cut mine. Now, let's start sewing. Here's a sewing method. For your reference, place the wrong side of the mesh panel against the wrong side of the lining fabric. Make sure the shapes are centered and matched up. To make sewing easier, you can use some thread to secure it temporarily. When securing, pay attention. The lining fabric must be stretched flat. Don't let it pucker. Try not to secure it near the edge, so as not to affect the subsequent sewing of the lining. Here, I've already secured it in advance. Now take another piece of thread. Insert it into the needle. Fold it in half, and tie a knot at the end. Start sewing from any position. First folding the edge of the lining to the backside. Make sure the lining is close to the mesh panel. After folding, the edge of the lining should just reveal the outermost frame of the mesh panel. If you want the lining to stick better here, you can stretch it slightly tighter. But don't pull it too tight. First, secure the thread on the fabric. After folding the lining properly, make sure to press it down firmly. Sew along the folded edge once. Pull slightly tight as you sew. Insert the needle through above the mesh panel, then go through the bottom of the fabric. Pick up strands, and sew once. Tighten the yarn. Continue threading separately on the lining and the fabric. Keeping the segments short. Sew a little tighter so it's more dense. Try not to show too much of the sewing marks. When you reach the corner position, fold the lining to match the shape of the mesh panel. Continue sewing. Pay attention to not exposing the mesh panel at the corner. Make sure the corner is smoothed out properly. Repeat this process to continue sewing downward. If you run out of yarn midway, tie off and weave in the ends on the fabric. Then take a new thread and continue sewing. Hide the color change inside. Then continue sewing downward. Be mindful when you encounter another corner later. Fold the fabric. Ensure the mesh panel doesn't show at the corners. Everyone, make sure to complete it. Finally, sew on the magnetic clasps. There are two parts, the female part and the male part. Start by sewing the female part first. Take the thread just like when sewing the lining fabric. Place the female part on the wrong side of the front or back piece. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample swatch. Position it about 0.5 cm below the top edge, centered. Make sure it's not crooked. The side of the magnetic clasp with the dent should face up. Sew through the 4 holes horizontally. When sewing, pay attention to sew inside the fabric piece. Weave in the tail so it's hidden inside the fabric piece. While sewing, make sure to secure the mesh panel together. After securing it firmly, tie off, and weave in ends on the right side. This completes the installation of the female part. Sew the male part in the same way on the corresponding symmetrical side. Be mindful that the position must be centered and matched properly. Let's all complete it. Next, let's learn how to make the side pieces. There are 2 pieces in total. We will start from the foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. After completion, assemble them together. Please watch the demonstration. First, cast on the corresponding number of chains. Then move on to crochet the first row. Chain 2 as the beginning chain. This does not count as a stitch. Then start from the 3rd chain from the hook. Pick up one strand on the top of the chain. Work double crochets evenly. After finishing, the first row is completed. Now let's move on to the second row. Chain 2 as the beginning chain. This does not count as a stitch. Turn your work. Work double crochets evenly into the double crochet stitches from the row below. Pay attention, since you've turned the work. The stitch placement corresponds to the top left corner position. The number of double crochets is the same as the previous row. The second row is now complete. For the following rows, follow the demonstration of the second row. To finish the remaining rows, note that after completing the first 5 rows, measure the dimensions of the fabric piece. The number of rows can be adjusted. The width should match the bag's bottom. The length should fit properly when compared to the side piece of the bag. After completing, leave about 3 times the circumference of the fabric piece for yarn. This will be used for sewing. That concludes the explanation of the side piece. Next, we'll attach the side piece to the main fabric piece. Place the starting chain on the side where the bag's bottom will be. There's no requirement for the front or back side. You can choose based on your preference. First, secure a few points between the bottom edge and the side piece. Make sure it is fixed properly. Next, take the reserved yarn from the side piece and thread it into a sewing needle. Then pick up the edge of the side piece and whip stitch through the half loops of the stitches along the main piece's edge. That means the half loops closer to the side piece. You can leave about 3 edge stitches unsewn if you like. Everyone can proceed with this method. After finishing this edge, when you encounter the chain stitch position on the side piece, so by picking up the insertion point of the first row, as you sew, bring the grids on both sides upright. Everyone can follow the previous sewing method to sew the side piece properly. This way, one side of the piece will be sewn. Everyone can follow this method and sew the other side as well. Up to this point, the making method of this product has now been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.